Hi, this is Mark. Congratulations. You have found this amazingly awesome show. Chances are you're listening to it right now on whether it's iTunes or Stitcher Radio or some other mobile app that allows you to stream this amazingly awesome show to your ear holes. And I can't stress how awesomely amazing this show really is. But did you know that you can also catch the latest episode of this show on the Tangibound Network? That's right. Go check out tangiboundnetwork.com. You can look them up and you can listen to it right there. It's even mobile friendly. What more could you ask for? Which means you can pull it up on your iPhone or your Android, even your Windows phone. Yeah, who has one of those? But still, point remains, you can do it. You can do it. Check it out, tangiboundnetwork.com. Listen to this show, the latest episode, every time. Check it out.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
The boys will let you know when there's a Spurler. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language, episode 278.
The most road-weary
Yeah,
podcast on the network. At least half of it. Half of it.
Yeah, that's, I would imagine you are, sir.
Yeah. But here I am, back on the air. A few days late.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
This will go up tonight, so it'll only be one day.
Although the website won't be updated by the time people, if they hop to it immediately,
right,
there'll be old shit on there because I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, I imagine so.
It's record, go to bed.
Yeah, seems like
back to the real life again tomorrow, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Good times.
Ugh.
Well, at least you won't have to. Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
That's got to be the weirdest part, is to drive all that way, to do a whole bunch of driving like that. And then, a lot of times it's like, well, back to the grind, and it's something completely different, sitting at a desk or blah, blah, and for you, it's more driving.
More driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey, guess what? You know that stuff you did for, past couple of days? Do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your vacation? How about you do? Well, at least you didn't have to unload, It
would have broken up the monotony.
Yeah, that's true. It's a mind-numbing drive. For those who don't know, Tony drove to Florida from Michigan.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's it's about a 23-hour straight shot. Something near that.
I'll cover all the details.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
we'll get to the details.
I think on average it's supposed to be about a 22, 23-hour drive. So,
yeah.
Which it's mind-numbing because there's a lot of just nothing in some of the states, like Tennessee, and it's just either you hit a patch where it's just all open and just nothing, or it's just a bunch of trees. And they all just look the same after a little bit, So
shit be brutal.
Yeah, it's even just being a passenger on that trip, it's a rough trip. It's, after a while, it's just like, oh, geez, let's pull off and just look at anything other than trees or open space.
Yeah, let's pull over and maybe do some murder-suicide.
Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. It's vacation, so why not?
Exactly.
Yeah. Good times had by all. So anyway, yeah, I guess you want to dive into that because.
Well, sure.
All right.
Well,
we could do a quick Thanksgiving recap and then go into
Thanksgiving was part of the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, here, let me do mine real quick. Yeah, because mine will take
Thanksgiving recap.
Yeah, mine will only take a couple minutes. The night before Thanksgiving, the 2 nights actually before, I had hives. I have no idea why. No clue.
That's weird.
Yeah, no new medicine. The stuff I ate was pretty much stuff I normally eat. Just broke out in some hives. And the first night they weren't too bad. The second night I had to hit the Benadryl pretty hard. And as a result, I was just out on Thanksgiving Day. So I didn't get to eat. I didn't go to my family thing, but my mom brought all the foodstuffs for me, and then I made an absolute pig of myself. And
as is tradition.
Yeah. I tried. I said this on The Crazy Life, but it's like, I tried not to. Like, my goal was, I was like, oh, there's all the things. I'll just have a little bit of everything. The problem is that a little bit of everything still filled my plate. So, of course, I crushed that. And then I was like, well, I have to have pumpkin pie because tradition, even though there was literally nowhere for it to go, So
sure it was. Just like right in the neck region.
Yeah, that's actually pretty much what I said on The Crazy Life. I was like, it just sat in my throat for a while.
Yeah, it's got to just wait for the cycle to take care of itself.
I'll tell you, I was so full, like it almost felt like it. I haven't packed myself with food like that probably since last year. And,
right.
Oh, I hate that feeling. It's like that's the worst part is I know how much I hate the feeling, and I did it anyway.
And you still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, I could have eaten half as much, then a couple hours later gone and ate again, where your body has kind of made it more comfortable for you at that point. And yeah, no, I was like, you know what? Whatever, my body can handle all of it. Ugh.
Like, I got this.
Yeah.
Oh God, I feel like death.
Oh, terrible. So yeah, there was that. And then this week I had to go to my doctor and, got my, my antidepressant's going to be increased, so that'll be interesting. See how that goes going forward. And I had to have blood drawn, and I go into the lab because my doctor's office has a station right in it. So I go in there, and the phlebotomist that's normally there, has been there since I started going there, 5-ish years ago. She's not there. And I was like, wow, I've never not seen her here. Oh no, I take that back. There was one time and that woman poked my arm like 100 times, So
that's just because she was having a bad day.
Yeah,
stab,
probably.
Stab.
Like, look at this asshole. So this woman was super nice. And, it looks like, I'm guessing the other phlebotomist doesn't work there anymore because she had like the workstation decorated with stuff and pictures of her and her kids and whatnot. All of that was gone. So I'm guessing they've scrubbed the place of her. And
she is being erased.
Yeah. Well, there can only be one, Tony.
That's true.
Or there can be only one, whatever. Highlander rules apparently in phlebotomy. Didn't know that.
Who knew?
Yeah. It's a rough gig. So the woman, she goes to, she's like, we gotta get some blood. And then, your doctor wants a urine sample too. And I'm like, great, I don't have to go, And I was like, so she gives me a bottle of water to drink. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this will help. But she goes to find my veins, and off and on in my lifetime, sometimes they can't find my veins because they're small. And as a result, she's like feeling all over my arm for like 5 minutes, my right arm. And she's like, there's one here, but I'm really leery to try it. So, and then she kept doing it. She goes, oh, you know what? And then she tries it. No luck, you know? And she's like, well, let me see the other arm. And I'm like, oh boy, you know, flashing back to the last time when it was a different phlebotomist, you know, like, I'm going to get stabbed to death here. And anyway, she found it, but it was weird where it was at. Cause you know, normally it's like in the pit of your elbow is usually where it was. This was more almost onto my forearm where she finally found a vein. So that was kind of weird, you know, but,
like, I got a vein for you. Zip.
No.
Flop. Drain this.
No, because she's got needles at the ready.
Oh, that's true. Stab.
Yeah,
that's not a good time.
No boy. Although it'd be weird.
Sure, somebody's into that.
Yeah. Like, well, this is the only place left to check for a vein. Terrible. But anyway, she finally, you know, she hit it. It was twice, but it was funny because she's like, sorry for sticking you twice. I'm like, whatever, you know, cause who cares? It's a little needle. I have no issues with them. So, and she goes, no, she's like, it's more of a pride thing. She's like, I rarely have to, you know, do it twice. I was like, okay. She was just pissed because she didn't hit perfection. Well, she did, but you know what I'm saying. Well.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I kind of laughed that her ego was part of it. You know, I did appreciate that because, you know, that did make me laugh. So
right.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. So and so right outside this lab they have a men's and a women's bathroom, right?
Naturally.
Which are mainly there because, you know, for pee tests and stuff. So, or, you know, samples. So she gives me, and they've switched because, you know, they used to give you like these little like screw top plastic jar type things, right?
Right.
The one time I went in, I got like a Dixie cup, and I am not exaggerating. I know I posted it on my Instagram at one point that it was seriously just like a little Dixie cup, and they wrote my name on a piece of tape and put it on it.
Wow.
Which
nice.
I was like, wow, high quality here. This time they've switched to where now they're using like their little clear, those little like kind of clear plastic cups that are about 3 inches tall or so. And they have a snap-on lid to these things. So I go and I'm going to put the lid on this and I'm like, so here's the thing. Those cups are not sturdy.
No.
And I'm like, I have to be very delicate because if I just Hulk smash this thing, I'm just going to have piss everywhere.
Yeah. And not many people want that.
Right. And I wasn't looking for that day. So, you know, if I'm going to get piss on people, I'd rather just throw the cup at someone, you know, way more fun.
It's true.
Oh man. So yeah, that lid would not snap on there.
Wow.
And so I got it as close as I could. I take it back into her and I was like, I can't get this lid on there and I don't want to push down on it. And she laughed and she was like, understandable. She's like, you know, so I don't, what she did with it. Cause I didn't stick
balls
around.
In your court, baby.
Yeah. I was pretty much like, here's my piss. Peace out. And you know, you know, like I do with all the ladies.
It's a nice quote. Here's my piss.
Yeah. Here's my piss. Peace out. Yeah. I wish if I could, the title of the show would be Here's My Piss. Oh man. I guess I could make it Here's My Pee or something like that, but it just doesn't have the same.
It doesn't have the same, like, you know, can't even think of the word. I'm so tired.
It doesn't have the same muscle to it, if you will, you know.
Nice.
A little muscle piss callback. Yep. So anyway, so
Gravity even.
That's been basically my week. So there you go.
Well, fair enough. Well, one of the reasons, Brian, it took me so long to get, you know, to doing what we're doing now is I had to completely reset my Wi-Fi extender.
Yeah.
Because I once again had to change the Wi-Fi password on my kids.
Awesome.
And I completely forgot about that, and I forgot how to do it, so I had to Google. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how they're super easy to set up? Like the first time you get it and you go through the process, you're like, bleh, especially after you've done it a few times, you know, you kind of blow through it. But if you forget the password or something in the meantime, it's like rocket science.
Oh, yeah. You turn into like, you know, I'm trying to hack the Pentagon all of a sudden.
Right. I was going to say it's like a scene from A Beautiful Mind or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that complicated, but for some reason it becomes that complicated.
But I got all that shit squared away. I should change the password to like, my kids are shitheads, but
I like it.
actually that should be my network name. My kids are shitheads.
Yes. It would be great to see eventually as someone screenshots it, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, this Toadies.
Anywho. But, yeah, so we, I think I covered a little bit on our last episode. We ended up going to Florida for our Thanksgiving holiday this year to, visit some friends.
Right.
That live down there. And it was weird because it's like the first Thanksgiving we've ever had where we didn't do anything with our families.
Oh,
I mean, I had my mom's the weekend before, but it was good, but it didn't feel like Thanksgiving because we just didn't.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird, but I mean, it was nice. But I'll get to the Thanksgiving portion.
All right.
Because Wednesday morning when we embarked on our journey. Kept kids out of school.
Sure.
Left at. I think we rolled out of here about a little after 5 a.m.
It's not like they missed anything at school anyway. It's the day before vacation.
Logan's like, oh no, I missed the seniors versus faculty basketball game.
Right. I was going to say, I remember on those days we used to get shown like a lot of times teachers would do something kind of cool, like bring in an actual movie, not like the schools type movies. But I remember watching Dances with Wolves, I think, the one year. In high school,
right.
I was like, it's better than whatever,
Like, kids, I'm going to introduce you to Jenna Jameson.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, I remember going, like, if this is all they're going to do, why are we here? Like,
right, exactly.
Like, why are they're just burning money.
Oh, geez, I completely forgot about this. I got to rewind just briefly.
Okay.
Because the Saturday after we recorded the last episode, we went to Jeannie's coworkers, had us over for a quote-unquote Friendsgiving.
Oh, yeah, right. You talked about Friendsgiving last week, yeah.
Did I talk about it?
You talked about being invited.
Or did I talk about going?
Going, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. So we did that. That was a good time. It was, just like, 6, 7, 8 of us, something like that. It wasn't many people. Plenty of booze. My wife may have gotten a few too many gin and tonics in her.
So you're saying slightly intoxicated?
Slightly intoxicated.
Just slightly.
Way too much food. Which was fine.
Yeah, that'll happen.
But we watched, which I think if we ever do in our movie review, we should definitely review this movie.
Kindergarten Cop 2?
Huh?
Kindergarten Cop 2? Oh, okay.
Oh, God, no. Nothing. This is like an Oscar award-winning movie.
Oh, okay.
Because I need to watch it again, because one of the dudes had a little projector that I've never seen a projector this big, but it's like the size of a phone. On a little tripod, just USB, it's just a laptop, and it's a projector.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. But the sound was terrible because it was just using laptop speakers.
Right, yeah.
So I want to watch the movie again, but it's Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, we talked about doing that show, or that movie, for a movie review. I think someone pointed it out to us.
We really need to watch it.
Okay.
Because, one, the movie opens with just bare tits.
Sure. Like, you mean the animal, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Like a Kodiak stands up, just tits.
It was traditional pilgrim dress, apparently, to have big-breasted blondes with their tits out.
Yeah. Yeah. All the history books have it. I thought you liked history.
I love history now.
Right.
And it's just about some fucking turkey that just kills everything.
Yeah,
it's insane.
yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I remember reading the synopsis.
And it's all one-liners, and it's...
All right.
Yeah, it was insane. So we need to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I think we need to bring those back. We haven't done those in a long, long time. I think we need to bring that back.
Yeah, and that's a definite candidate.
Yeah.
So Friendsgiving was good. And then we had my parents' Thanksgiving, which is like an hour drive.
Yeah.
And I tried so hard because my parents were like, oh, hey, why don't we just carpool? And I knew immediately I'm driving. God damn it, I'm driving. I did.
Yeah.
But okay. But then Wednesday, embarked 5 a.m, and like Jeannie started driving, which is awesome because typically I'd do the driving.
Right.
And oh my God, just a brutal drive. And our whole goal was the way down there. We're going to go to South Carolina to visit with her cousin.
Okay.
That just had a brand new baby.
I was wondering because when you posted at one point a picture and it said something from Carolina, and I'm like, why did they go that way? Because normally you just go straight.
Straight 75.
Yeah, 75 all the way down to Florida, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I thought maybe you guys did that too, thinking that everybody would go that way. So maybe you were trying to go, around the main traffic.
Nope, that was our game plan.
Sure.
Get to South Carolina by dinner time.
Right. Have
dinner
barbecue
with them.
Right.
And then, if I wish we were, we still had good stuff.
Right.
But then continue on the road. And we packed food and drinks. We're like, we're not stopping for lunch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Eat breakfast, bitches. And when we stop to get gas, or if we pull over to get coffee, then we'll resupply.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Right.
We made it to Carolina by I don't know, 7 or 8.
Okay.
I think because there was some, because I was using Waze on the way down there.
Yeah.
Which if you don't know what Waze is, well, go, use it and drive off a cliff.
Right.
But there was some sort of major accident, so it detoured me.
Sure.
And it was the weirdest detour I've ever been through. I'm actually legitimately glad it detoured me because it was just some 2-lane highway to just weave through the Smoky Mountains.
Oh yeah, that's a fun drive.
It was cool. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
where are we going?
The way I said that didn't come. It actually is not a bad drive. It's from what I understand, certain conditions can make those drives not fun. But
I imagine.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were weaving along some river, and it was cool. I was
cool,
like, this is some fucking great viewing.
Yeah.
Where are we going still?
Magnets, how do they work?
Basically. But so, we get to their joint, and I'm talking to Jeannie. I'm like, so what are we going out to eat? Are they cooking for? What are we doing?
Right.
She's like, I have no idea. Because, brand new baby and all that.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up having pizza, which I knew this whole vacation, I can't even really call it vacation, this whole long weekend we went on to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's going to be straight derailment of my normal eating protocol.
Sure.
I just know it.
Yeah.
And when I saw the pizzas, because it was from some place called the Mellow Mushroom.
Okay.
Very psychedelic looking boxes.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It was there was a pizza that was like a Thai inspired pizza. There was one that was very Greek and had tzatziki sauce and shit, and then there was one that was like mushrooms and it was all the pizza, and it was fucking all delicious.
Right.
It was all so good, and I was just hammering the pizzas.
Sure, I bet.
But so our goal was, because we briefly thought, well, if they offer to let us sleep here, we're going to sleep here, and then we'll move on in the morning because we still had a long way to go.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what happened. They're like, see ya, get the fuck out.
Yeah, well, fair
basically.
enough. That's how most people react to you
them.
guys. Yeah, right. No.
Yeah. But, we didn't have anything booked, but our hotel we couldn't get into the next day at 3. So we're like, well, we were just going to drive until we had to stop.
Sure.
And then we'd just get some shitty hotel for the night, and then we'd finish our journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to drive through the whole night.
Yeah.
Did all in one fell swoop.
That's a lot of drive. I mean, you had 2 people, but that's a long
It was insane.
drive. Yeah. Because the few times that I've been to Florida via driving, 75 straight south, and we try to get to Georgia, every time. And Georgia is well past the halfway point,
Oh, yeah.
If you can get to Georgia, it's just a few hours the next day, basically. But I remember my dad every time would try, and he'd have to push himself to get to Georgia because by the time you get close, he's exhausted, So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you guys went a different way, but I understand it's still not. Yeah, it's not like it's quicker to go that way.
No.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that we're just going. Kids are sleeping. Jeannie nods off occasionally. I'm going. When she's awake, then we're just
sure.
It hit a point. I'm like, we gotta switch.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where we were at. So we switch, and I finally nod off. just to we were in Florida. Yeah, we were in Florida.
All right.
Just as soon as I nod off, some asshole buzzes our car in a crotch rocket.
Right.
And I'm, about shit my pants.
Sure.
Wide awake now. And then we're just driving, and Jeannie keeps looking over at me because I was like on a pillow and shit. And she's like, "You're not gonna fall asleep, are you?" I'm like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Not
after that.
Ready to go again.
Right.
Yeah. Basically, I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
So she was like, "Okay," because I'm getting tired again. So we switched again, and I take over driving. And eventually, she went into the back, and Logan sat with me for a while up front.
Yeah.
Because he was just wide awake too.
Sure. Yeah. That's like me. I would have been wide awake the whole trip. Because
yeah.
I don't sleep well in cars. So, that's why a lot of various times, like when my dad drove, I'd sit up front with him because I'd be awake the whole time, so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And, we eventually had to get gas again, and, Logan goes in the back, and we're driving, and I'm hitting a point. I'm doing the old, I'm just staying, my eyes are wide awake.
Yeah.
I keep and Jeannie's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "We need to be there soon."
Right.
And we're just in the middle of Florida somewhere.
Yeah.
And I can't believe how big Florida is, by the way.
Right.
And then, and we switch again. And she said, as soon as I got in the passenger seat, I was just snoring.
Yeah, I don't
just
doubt
done.
it. Yeah.
And I woke up, and it's like the sun's coming up. We're on some boulevard. There's palm trees. I'm like, "Where are we?" She's like, "Oh, we're just about to our hotel." But it's 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, geez. So you can't even get in yet.
At 5, got there at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "I drove by a Bob Evans. Let's go get and they were open. Let's go get breakfast."
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know they opened that early.
All right. Because this was Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. Okay. So that's two things. I was going to say, I didn't even know they were open that early, A, and B, to be Thanksgiving Day and open. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do a Yui, get to the Bob. And the first thing I was shocked is there was already some old people and they're drinking. Jesus. Eating.
It'd be funny if they were drinking.
But they would be funny if they're drinking.
Yeah.
But what I noticed immediately is every time an old person walked in, they all fucking knew each other.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, hey, you." And they're all like, "What?" And, it's not a small area where our friends live. There's a lot of people live there. And I guess it's just a Bob Evans community thing.
Yeah.
But every old person that walked in, they all knew each other.
I think you find that at every Bob Evans, there are people that are like everyday people, that eat breakfast there every day. So they probably know a good amount of various people that come through there,
Yeah. It was brutal.
Yeah.
Because I was just getting annoyed because I was, cranky, lack of sleep.
Right.
Like, "Oh, hey,
I'm surprised you weren't over there.
Mildred?
I'm surprised you weren't over there sitting with them.
Oh, man.
Cranky old man Tony. Like with your
just
newspaper.
Pounding coffee.
Yeah. Drinking coffee and reading your newspaper and getting mad because the jumble wasn't in there or something.
Jumble. I couldn't. Someone already filled it out.
Yeah. No, half filled it out.
Yeah.
These kids, they never finish anything.
We got our subpar Bob Evans breakfast.
Yeah.
And we went to the hotel, and Jeannie's like, "I'm just going to go in, and I'm just going to see if maybe to have a room."
Yeah, because there's sometimes you can go to places like we used to get to. Like when we used to travel, like to do flea markets and stuff, there were a lot of times we would show up at the places at like midnight or 2 a.m. and stuff, and be like, "Hey, we've got a room reserved for tomorrow. Is there any way, type of thing." So,
right.
like that we can get in now instead of having to wait until whenever. So, yeah.
Well, she walked in, she's like, "Yeah, I stay in the car." She's like, "Hey, we just drove from Ohio.
Yeah.
And we have a reservation. Do you have any rooms available?" And they're like, let's check to see if we have one that fits. And they happen to have one.
Nice.
Because they didn't quite sell out.
Okay.
So I go, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah.
So we unload the car, get to the room. Everybody just the kids were like, "We're all awake." It's like, "Fuck you. You slept the whole way here."
Yeah, right?
We told them, like, "If you want to go explore the hotel, go swim, whatever. Leave us alone. We're trying to sleep."
Yeah.
So, they're playing on or I think Logan went to take a shower. Leah's watch TV. Jeannie, I just crash.
Oh, yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
And then in my sleep, I just keep hearing knocking. And I start to come to. And you just hear, "How's housekeeping. Housekeeping. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, is someone knocking? And Leah's like, oh, well, I'm hoping they'll go away. And they just open the door and walk in.
Yeah.
Because no one answered.
Right.
We didn't have the do not disturb thing on.
They must not have known anyone was in the room or something. I don't know.
No. So, Leah was already going to open the door and tell them to go away. Because I'm like, tell them to leave. You know?
Yeah, right.
So, second sleep interrupted. Right?
Yeah.
So finally, we once again shut everything down. Asleep for maybe 40 minutes, and the fucking fire alarm goes off.
Oh, Jesus.
And then Jeannie, she's like standing up, and she's like, we gotta get our shoes, and we gotta get out. Because she was half asleep.
Yeah, right.
I was just laying in bed, like, accepting my fate, I think.
You're like, you know what? The fire will be warm at least.
Exactly. And then the alarm just stopped. Yeah. And then her and I just, she looked at me and she's like, let's just get dressed go get food. And that's, exactly what we did.
Yeah.
We just got up and went, and it was brutal. We went and, met our friend, and we got some lunch, and and we hung out with her for a little bit, and we're just like, I'm sorry, this is Thanksgiving Day. I'm all thrown. It's been such a blurred few days.
Yeah.
That we went and we met her because, she'd moved on there 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer now. It's been a while. I don't even know.
Right.
But we all got invited to this Thanksgiving thing that people that she's known when she was a kid. She grew up down there.
Oh, okay.
They call it the Island of Misfits.
All right.
And it's just a bunch of people that don't really have families or don't come together and have Thanksgiving with this one family.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got to say, for not knowing anybody but her,
mm-hmm.
felt super welcome by anybody. Had a great Thanksgiving.
That's great. Yeah.
It was awesome. Like, all the food was great. The people that own the house were like, yeah, come. And we just welcomed them with open arms. I ate way too much.
Nice. Did you steal their
silver? It was
silver?
awesome. Who, what?
I said, did you steal their silver?
I thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was killer. We, multiple desserts. Probably a terrible idea, but I did it.
Mm.
We brought some beer. We found that was craft beer local, and I went and told Lee, I'm like, hey, go get me another beer from downstairs. And she's like, oh, it's all gone. And we were like, whatever. They drank it all.
Yeah.
Come to find out a few days later, we ran into people, and I was like, yeah, you left a bunch of beer at our house. We're like, oh, it's yours now. Just keep it.
Yeah, right.
Because, what are you going to do?
Right.
But, and then it was, we were like, okay, we need to sleep. Finally.
Yeah.
Because we're full of food, and we're so glad we met all you people, but we need to go and sleep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a night of real sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A night of actual sleep. And, it's funny because, like when we're at Bob Evans, Logan's like, wow, my first meal at a table in over a day. Oh, it was madness.
Yeah.
But the Thanksgiving was awesome. I'm glad we did that. But then the next day, we didn't go out for breakfast because it was provided by the hotel. So
right.
Why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't terrible. It had eggs and sausage and whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. But we ended up, because Jeannie was like, hey, since I can eat seafood now in Florida, I want to go and have seafood somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which is
awesome. Absolutely.
So our friend picked a place out called the Lobster Lady. And it's like a fish market and a restaurant. And man, dude, the food is killer.
Mm-hmm.
She found some fish she likes. It was a good time.
Yeah.
We parted ways with our pals, and because she wanted to go take us to one of her friends' bands. So we ended up doing that night. Went to a brewery. Had a lot of beer.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, Friday was a good night. Her friend, I know once again, I ended up driving. Ugh. Dude, her friend got fucking wasted.
Wow, that's a term we haven't used on the show in a while.
Wasted. Like, we picked her up.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as we got there, she just started hammering beers. Just boom, boom, boom. We got some food from next door because there was like a gourmet grilled cheese place. More derailment of the no bread.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure she missed the ordering window because I think they closed before she ordered her food.
Oh, jeez.
So just beers. And then, we finally wrangle her up as we're trying to leave. And the band was called Strange Arrangements, which I guess they call that because they just members of the band shift in and out, so you never know who's playing.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But they're really good. For sure, I'll put a link on our website to them.
Right.
But trying to get her home. And the whole time she's just, and I confirmed, suspicions confirmed. Drunk chicks talk about dicks. Because that's all the talk that was going on in the car is I'm the only guy. And she kept going, oh, I'm so sorry, Tony. I'm just so drunk. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And she's like, I need food, Circle K, anything. Which is a gas station for those not in the know.
Well, they should know.
Wendy's.
I was going to say they should know because they should have watched Bill and Ted's.
Well, yeah, Strange Things Are Afoot at Circle K.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, good Lord, was she hammered. But it was fun.
Yeah, and it's not like it's the first time you've had somebody who's annihilated in your car, so.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That may have sounded a little creepy. I didn't mean it in like.
Not in a Cosby type situation.
Right. I just meant, various ones of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, oh boy, was she hammered. But, God, I'm losing my track of where I am. That was Friday. That's why you and I couldn't record Friday, because Becca's like, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, we're dropping it. She's like, hey, I why don't you guys come out and see my friends play?
Sure.
It's like, yeah, all right. Because originally you and I were going to record Friday night, because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Yeah. So then Saturday rolls around. Saturday! In, OSU Michigan game.
Right.
Which I really wanted to go somewhere and see. I ended up watching most of it in the hotel room because she's like me, not enough sleep and it's just derailment of life.
Yeah.
And she, goddamn fucking cat, attacking shit under the door, like an animal. She felt like massive headache the next day. I mean, we went and got we went and got Cuban coffee, which Jeannie and I love. And they always have pastries, and she stayed at the hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just not doing good.
Yeah.
So I watched most of the game, which,
yeah.
I mean, it was an exciting game and all, but
right.
Most of the game in the hotel room. And then about lunchtime, we're like, all right, we got to go we need to go eat food and then go back to our friend's house because there's a bar right up the road from her that a band that she plays in a lot, because she plays a stand-up bass,
right?
Is playing, and she wants to see them. So like, yeah, no problem. We'll do this. So we went to this Vietnamese place. Dude. If you haven't had pho or however you pronounce it, Go find yourself. Get some of that in your life. This place it had maybe 10 tables in it. And it was this little dinky just called Island Pho. And the service was slow as shit, but I didn't care. The food was amazing.
Right.
And it wasn't really that badly priced. And I had a bowl of the stuff that was bigger than your head.
Wow, that's pretty big.
It's saying something.
Yeah, it is. That's a big bowl, man. If I can drown in it face first, it's a big bowl.
You probably could have.
That's scary for me. So I'd have to lay like chopsticks across the bowl just in case.
Just in
that way my whole head doesn't sink.
First.
Yeah, my whole head doesn't sink.
Dude, it was so good. Oh,
I saw a picture of it.
Next time we go down there, we're going back for sure.
Yeah, I saw your picture of it. I've never had it, so I don't even know.
It's just like soup.
Yeah,
basically. Like I got their number one special. Mm-hmm. So it had meatballs, which they like sliced up. It had brisket and it had beef in it.
Nice.
And then it's just like noodles and the broth and some vegetables, and then they give you a little side thing that has like bean sprouts and jalapeno and lime and basil that you can add whatever you want to it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I always just load my shit up and then dump sriracha in it and, go to town.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's so good. It's like one of my favorite things to eat. I'm dying.
All right.
But yeah, so then, we went and went back to their place and hung out with them for a while, and the kids are going to play D&D. And Logan went through the whole process of bugging the staff at the hotel to like use their printer to print out character sheets, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we had hours between us arriving at their place and going to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm going to run up to the grocery store because I want some beers.
Right.
And we're just standing here bullshitting. I should stand here and bullshit with a beer in my hand.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Got to stay hydrated. Yeah.
Exactly. Got to stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
So I hop in the car and I run up to the Publix, Florida shout out, get a little 6-pack, some IPA
right.
that I've never had before. And I'm coming back, and just as soon as I pull onto to her street, I'm like, I grab a can of it. And I'm like, I'm going to walk in with an open beer to show how, hardcore I am about drinking this beer right now.
Right.
And then my phone rings. And it's Logan. He's like, oh, hey, Dad. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm no joke. 30 seconds from her driveway, because her road isn't very long.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. Apparently all her neighbors hate where she lives because it's like a rental property. And there's 4 rental units in this place. And it's like her, 2 little efficiencies. And then the other 2-bedroom has got like 8 Guatemalans living in it.
Oh, wow.
And it's surrounded by $1 million houses. So everyone dislikes them.
Sure. It makes sense.
But I'm rolling up the road and I got a beer in my hand. And then, it's Logan. Oh, Dad, if you're still out, can you run to the hotel? Because I left the character sheets there. and from where her hotel is, from where she lives, it's like, no joke, 30-minute drive.
Right.
And I'm like, and I look at the clock and I'm like, I got time to get there and get back. All right. So here I am driving through Florida. I got, got my Action Bronson playing, got the windows down because it's nice out. And I'm just driving with a beer.
Right. Yeah, road soda. Right.
I'm like, I guess I'm very Florida now. I feel Florida.
Oh my.
Yeah. So keep it on your hats, podcast listeners. Although I'm looking at the can and it looked like an Orange Crush can because it was like orange and green. And I'm like, hey, one beer's not going to get me plowed. And
right.
I can get away with this. I'll only have one. I'm not going to crack another one when I get to the hotel.
Right. On the way back is a different story. No. Yeah. Just go into the hotel.
It was a delicious beer.
Shotgun a couple and then get back in yeah, that's smart.
So, I go to the hotel, go back, get there. We got about a half hour before it's time to get to the bar. And I'm just start hammering these IPAs.
Sure.
Because I was thirsty, Brian.
What are you going to do? Leave them there? Come on.
I did. I actually left one in the fridge, and then I was thinking about it when we were leaving. It's like, God damn it, but oh well.
Yeah.
But, I had this bar. It's called Bert's Bar, and it's an awesome dive bar. I could definitely see hanging out there again. Very cool place. And I'm looking at all the beers, and I tried like a pint of some. No, I didn't. That was Jeannie got the pint. I was feeling okay. I was feeling all right. But I was once again on my quest to find a cheap beer that I can drink.
Sure.
Like at the seafood place, I had a couple pints of craft beer that they made specifically for the seafood place.
Yeah.
But it was kind of pricey, and I switched to PBR. Mm-hmm. Right. So here I'm like, they didn't have PBR, which I was starting to lean to. So my brother-in-law, Peanut, he loves Miller Lights. I'm like, you know what? They got him on me. Let me get a Miller Light.
Yeah.
I think I whacked down 5 of those things.
Yeah, they're super easy to crush.
They go down so smooth.
Yeah, I remember.
So easy.
I don't know if you remember, that used to be my beer of choice like forever ago, and that was the only. It was good / bad because you could, like I remember times me and one of our friends would be at another friend's house and we'd crush a 30-pack.
Oh yeah,
because
it's
they super easy. Yeah.
We weren't there. We listened to the first set of this band, and this was the Hypnoticals.
Right. It's a good name.
Good name. Good band. They're probably very rockabilly shit.
Right. Sure.
It was very there's a guy playing the saxophone, guitar, and stand-up bass, and a drummer. It was good. It was fun.
That's cool. Yep.
They were killing it, and like everybody from the Thanksgiving that we went to were all there. So we're like, oh hey, all these people we know, kinda.
Right. Yeah.
That accepted us. Oh, and I also, this tells you my IPAs that I've been smashing and the Miller Lite stuff. Because every time the waitress came by, I'd look at my bottle. I was just I'm pointing like, oh yeah, you should probably bring me another one.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, basically. So I don't remember the guy's name because I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
This guy comes over, and our friend's like, "Oh, hey, this is so and so. He's the only gay guy on this little island," because she lives on a little tiny island right off, like it's like like a little cluster of islands.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, "Woo!" And he's like hugging Jeannie and hugging I, and he's like, kiss me on the cheek. So I'm just like, mwah, smooching on his cheek,
Sure,
kissed him on his lips.
Yeah.
And then I sat back down. I'm like, I just kissed a strange man. What the fuck is going on?
You know what? Listen, I'll say this. I love the fact that you didn't just say, I just kissed a man. You said, I kissed a strange man. Like, if you're familiar with him, it's okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
I appreciate that you're open, like, but a strange man, it's like, hey, I don't know where his face has been, Like,
yeah.
It's a little weird. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So now you're going to be European kissing everyone, right?
Yeah, for sure. Mwah, mwah, cheek to cheek and stuff.
Ugh. Yeah.
But yeah, so we went for the first set and we squared up the bill, which considering the amount of beers I knocked back and we got food was dirt cheap. So that's why I'm like, I could see coming back here.
Yeah, well, it's also a benefit of drinking those kind of beers,
Exactly.
You can drink a lot of them instead of drinking like 3. You could drink 7,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And and Jeannie got another craft beer that was made for Burt's.
Yeah.
Not the first place we went to. And I took a drink of it and we were both like, ugh. I was like, wow, my Miller Lite tastes better than your specifically brewed beer, which is not saying much for that beer right there.
Right.
But, we leave because we're, big hugs because we're leaving the next morning, all that jazz, say bye to everyone we met, and go to pick up the kids and, get to her place. And they're like, is there any way, Dad, you can come back? Because we're trying to finish this encounter. We're playing D&D and characters took forever. And
right.
So I'm like, and I'm, I didn't drive and I shouldn't have, which is good.
Right.
But, I'm like, Jeannie looks at me and she's like, if we go back to the hotel, then you're coming back to get him at some point. I'm like, all right. Now I told him, I'm like, all right, kids, just because we're leaving, you guys haven't seen each other in forever. I'll be back.
Yeah. I'll be back when Daddy sobers up.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So, between that hour round trip, basically.
Yeah.
And by the time we got to the hotel, and then I cleaned myself up a little bit, and then I got back to there. They finished their thing. All's well. And we, went back and packed up our shit the next morning and hit the road again to head back home, which is a straight up 75.
Right.
And I come to find out, listening to our friends Dark Angels are pretty freaks that day, that the Sunday after Thanksgiving weekend,
yeah,
busiest travel day in America.
Yes, I knew that. Yeah.
I didn't because I never travel it.
Yeah, I just knew it because I've heard it on like the news before. I'm the same way. I take it back. I think there was one Thanksgiving that we traveled, but other than that, I think we've been home because most of my family lives, here. So,
right. It was one. I did think it was funny. I almost forgot about this. Coming from here, from Michigan, going down there, it's like every day was high 70s, low 80s, sometimes low 70s.
Right.
And we're all shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops.
Yep. Standing
I got my sunglasses on. We're loving life.
Everybody down there's freezing. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yep.
There was a woman that had like an Arctic-looking jacket on.
Yeah.
We were sitting outside drinking coffee at a Starbucks when, like, the first day we got there, after our fire alarm wake-up call.
Right.
And Logan said that some kid walked by and it stopped and like took a picture of us.
Tourists. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we were loving it.
Yeah.
But driving back, one, it's good to see that no matter where you are on Interstate 75, there's fucking construction because it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Two, people in Florida are maniacs.
Right.
Because I was doing at times, feeling 70.
Mhm.
I was doing upper 80s sometimes, and people are going by me like I was standing still.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was insane.
Yep.
And then, Brian, there's just the traffic in general. Because we got caught in one traffic jam that, no joke, we sat in for probably an hour.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm talking like 3 lanes, just bumper to bumper, barely moving.
Oh, jeez.
It was brutal. Lost so much time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean, day one, because we did it in 2 days. Originally, our game plan was to come back, was to go down there, stay, and then get to our hotel, but we drove straight through.
Right.
And then the way back, we were going to just drive straight through so we can get the kids to school today.
Sure.
Because, well, they skipped school today.
Yeah.
Because we were in the car for, I want to say 14 to 14 and a half hours and made it to Chattanooga.
Wow.
Just because of the traffic.
Yeah.
And we got caught in so many traffic jams. It was insane.
Yeah.
And Georgia, I mean, Florida's a huge state when you're driving straight through.
It is.
Because we were down by we were at the head of the Florida dick.
Yeah.
Like under the chin of the head, if you
Right.
will. In that region, like down
Right.
by,
Yeah, where the
south of Orlando.
where the
you know?
Fermunda's from. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where all the Fermunda's at.
Yeah.
And it took forever to get out of Florida. And then it took even longer to get out of Georgia.
Dude, even like just going to Orlando, like when I was there last, it's amazing. Like when you see the Florida border, you're like, yes, and then you don't realize that it's not like an hour. It's still hours before you're where you're going. It's crazy,
Dealing with the traffic. The only highlight I have for Georgia is when we stopped for dinner. But the whole time I'm thinking, Sherman had it right. Just burn this bitch down.
Oh no.
No one needs this state.
But there's
Because we stopped for dinner before we got to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because Logan was like, we're in the South. I really want to have Southern barbecue.
right.
I'm like, you know what? That's what am I going to do? Say no? That's a great idea.
Well, it is funny though. You were in South Carolina and no barbecue.
Yeah. Well, by the time we got there,
Yeah,
I know.
it's just- yeah.
I would rather have Carolina barbecue.
Right. That's
to be honest.
Sure.
But we stopped at some place, and the barbecue was killer.
Mm.
But the God's the truth, honest highlight of the whole barbecue experience is they made fresh pork rinds.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, I was like, nah, I don't need a bag. She's like, just when do you see them fresh like that? Get a bag. I'm like, all right.
I mean, there's that. Normally they're, yeah.
Normally I'm the only one who eats pork rinds. The whole family's like, man, these are so good. Everyone was eating them. I should have got more than one bag.
Yeah.
But the barbecue was killer. We had a good dinner. But then we got to Atlanta. And I just I gripped the wheel, clenched my teeth. I had, some hard rock going, and I just managed to somehow get through Atlanta without murdering us.
Yeah, Atlanta's a nightmare. And there's certain times obviously that you hit, and like you going through after a holiday, it's going to be a nightmare anyway. But
And it was, before we got to Atlanta, it was bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah.
Barely moving. And then through Atlanta, it was like fucking NASCAR.
Yeah. The only advantage we had when we went was we were in the carpool lane, which there was a huge traffic jam. But because we were in the carpool lane, we just skated right by all of it.
Right.
So, but if we had been in the regular traffic area, it would have been horrible.
There was times I was in the carpool lane, but I wasn't 100% sure because it's not super clear. And I'm making split decisions.
Yeah.
On if it went all the way through.
Yeah.
So I kept getting off, and then I'd see it pop up again, be like, oh, I guess I should have stayed in it.
Yeah, we did that a couple of times too for the exact same reason. Because I was like, I don't know if we're going to be able. This is going where we want it to go, or if this ends somewhere, or what. Yeah.
I know for next time.
Yep, that it does. It goes all the way through. Yep.
All the way through.
Yep. It's too bad if I would have known you didn't know that, I would have told you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it is much better to be in the carpool lane than it is to be in the regular traffic.
Oh, definitely.
It's terrible. I don't know why more people weren't using. Well, other than they're probably going to be getting off in the city, I guess. But yeah.
Oh, but it was insane. So yeah, we made it because the reason we did Chattanooga is, we're Hampton Rewards members because we stay at Hamptons a lot because they're comfy beds and they're decent hotels, but
Right.
they're not priced. They're not super expensive.
Right.
Because it's like Hilton's younger, shittier brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jeannie using, the Hampton app or whatever, there was one in Chattanooga that was like dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And I now know why.
Was it as bad as the place I stayed in in Tennessee?
No, it wasn't quite a murder hotel, but it was
Okay.
close.
See, I was kind of hoping that we'd get to record with you from a hotel because it would have been great if you would have had a murder hotel also.
Well, like I said, it was close.
Close, all right.
Because we pulled in,
Mhm.
and there's one thing like I've stayed in some real dirtball
Oh,
places
yeah,
before,
for sure.
so I'm used to some shitty rooms.
Well, it's funny, that place in Tennessee that we stayed is easily the worst room I've ever stayed in. Like, it
Right.
isn't even close. And I've stayed in
Bar none the worst.
I stayed in rooms that had a cockroach in them once, and that was better than the room in Tennessee.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, we pull into the Hampton, or as I called it for us tonight, Chateau Hampton.
Well, naturally.
Yeah. And Jeannie's looking at it, and she's like,
Sorry, I just had a flashback to your Bojangles or whatever it was.
"Yeah, Bohangles."
Bohangles.
That was a running gag all the way down too, just because they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah.
But so we pull in, and this is it's like 10 at night or something crazy.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is a motel, not a hotel."
Yeah.
And I've never seen a Hampton motel,
I
but
haven't
that's
either.
what it was.
Yeah.
And it's like, huh. So, we got a room, and the kids have never stayed in one before because, she doesn't like the whole, here's my door to the outside world.
Yeah.
She likes, at least you have to get by the front desk to get to my door.
Right. I understand that. Yeah.
Which I get too.
Totally get it.
But like I
Yeah.
said, I've been in plenty of motels, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, same here. They don't faze me much because the same reason.
But all I could think about was the Bill Burr bit, the serial killer buffet. Which door do I pick?
Yeah.
I should maybe put that as a video, maybe.
It's so
But,
true. I didn't even think about that. It's so true. Yeah.
And it's funny because Leah's like, "Are they called motels because they're murder hotels?"
We'll find out.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely sketchy. Like I want the bolt, like the dead bolt wouldn't function.
Right. That's how you
And
can
the-
usually tell is like the locks are a little weird or they're loose or
Yeah. And the little like bar lock that goes over the
Yeah.
little knobby thing.
Yeah.
Like the screws on that were a little loose.
Exactly.
Like it looks like it got kicked in at some
Right.
point or
It's
something.
like you kids sleep. I'll take first watch.
It's like we're playing D&D.
Yeah.
Well, I'll roll my perception. But, and then, I mean, granted, Jeannie and I spent most of our married life sleeping together in a full-size bed, which
Yeah.
is crazy talk when you think about it now, since we've graduated to the king.
Yeah. I've done worse.
Well, they
I spent
told
years
us
in
it
a
was supposed
single bed, so
to- well, there you go.
yeah.
But they're like, "Oh, you should have queens." Well, we had 2 full-size beds, and we're like, "Fuck it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
So sleep wasn't that great because and we both agreed on this, as much as we like sleeping next to each other, it's
Yeah.
sometimes nice to escape.
It absolutely, yeah, it absolutely is. It's nice for a while, but after, when you're really settling into that sleep, you generally have your own thing,
Yeah.
that most people, it's not like wrapped around the other person once you get into that good sleep, usually it's sprawled all over the place or something,
Yeah, exactly.
kicking your spouse off the bed, so you can lay diagonal,
Karate kick.
Like, you remember when Tate used to talk about that?
Yeah.
Because she's like,
drive me crazy.
as little as she is, she would take up a whole bed because she lays diagonal.
Well, apparently that's what Leah does. It must be a girl thing because,
Yeah.
Logan was sleeping in the same bed as she is, and he's like, I can't do it anymore, Dad.
I'll do it if it's a
She
small
takes up
bed.
so much room.
Yeah. Just, tell him to just go toss her into the bathtub, Let her lay a diagonal across it.
Yeah, enjoy that.
Yeah. Just throw a couple cushions underneath her. Wouldn't be the first time I've heard that story. So,
For sure.
I did it once.
But the one thing I will say about Chateau Hampton is For a Hampton, they
Yeah.
killed it on breakfast.
Right.
Like their breakfast was like, for some reason that day it was amazing, because the day before when we left our other Hampton in Florida,
Yeah.
they did sausage gravy, and it was the worst shit I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
It was so overly salted. It was horrible.
Probably straight out of a packet.
Oh my God, it was
Yeah.
bad. And this place, they had like a little, granted it had turkey sausage, which I was not a huge fan of,
Well,
but
sure.
they had these little like Western omelets. I think I ate 6 of them or something crazy. They were delicious.
Well, you do love your eggs, you know.
I do.
You do, yeah. Yeah, that was like the murder cabin or murder hotel we stayed in. They had a free breakfast, and I walked in there, and the breakfast looked okay, but it was just everything else about the place was so shitty that me and Jen were both like, eh. So I grabbed I think she grabbed me a bagel and cream cheese, because, you know, the packets of cream cheese. So she
Yeah.
grabbed me like a bagel, and she grabbed like a muffin or a donut or something like that, and we're like, we'll just, you know, get on the road and we'll stop or
We'll
whatever.
take our chances.
Yeah, and I think we stopped at somewhere for breakfast, but it was like, yeah, we just want out of this place badly.
Well, that's what I was saying is we're walking to the breakfast place. I'm like, if this place has fucking sausage gravy on deck, we're eating anywhere else.
Right.
I don't care if it's free.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm with you. You know, it's like, you know, we had money budgeted for the vacation, but it's like you don't want to, you know, if you're going to be there a few days or whatever, it's like you don't want to go broke on breakfasts and stuff like that when there's something there you can eat. You know, it may not
Yeah,
be the greatest,
exactly.
but it's like, look, it's free, you know?
Yeah, it's sustenance. Eat it.
Yeah, but like I said, at that place, it was so sketch that I was just like, I just don't even know if I trust the food, you know?
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
So I was like, bagels seem safe, you know, unless it's somehow someone handled chicken or their balls and then handled it, you know? So,
Or both.
Or both at the same time.
Yeah. We're just giving that chicken a stern rogering.
Right. The bagel was the meat in the ball chicken sandwich. Ooh. Gross.
But, you know, hit the road again, trying to just get through Kentucky and
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Right.
Well, Tennessee, then Kentucky.
Right.
Then Ohio, finally through into Michigan.
And Ohio is another state
Ugh.
that seems like it takes forever to get through, even though it doesn't. Like when you're going home,
Yeah.
Ohio seems like it's forever long, you know? But it doesn't. Ohio
And-
only takes, 5 hours to get from tip to tip, basically, 6 hours, something like that, maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
I couldn't tell you the exact time.
Yeah,
'cause
depending
once
on
again, it was
traffic.
brutal.
And, yeah, I was going to say depending on traffic and whatnot, so.
And on this, you know, today we spent 14 hours in the car yesterday, basically almost straight.
Yeah.
Like we're not doing that today. So we stopped and got like a coffee at one point
Yeah.
and just kind of stretched. And then we actually stopped and had lunch, which was actually delicious. We stopped at like Mount Vernon, Kentucky or Tennessee. I don't remember where the fuck it was.
Okay, yeah.
Some little place called the Limestone Grill. Dude, this burger I got, which I threw on my Instagram. Oh my God. And that thing was like $9 and it was, you know, giant. Had like fried green tomato on it and bacon. It was
Oh,
so
really?
good. This
Nice.
thing was loaded.
Nice, yeah.
It was so good. But as we're, you know, leaving, as we're in the middle of Kentucky, it starts raining. And then the shit hit the fan going towards Cincinnati because we're starting getting the rush hour traffic.
Oh, you hit Cincy at rush hour, huh?
Yeah, Cincy, it was right before rush hour, but it was getting bad.
Close enough.
But then you got Cincy, and then right after that's Dayton, which isn't a huge city, but it's big enough.
Were they working on the bridge in Cincinnati, or was it actually
No.
clear? Oh, at least you had that. The last
Yeah.
like 3 times I've been through Cincinnati, they've been working on the bridge, and they had like half the bridge closed off, or part of the bridge closed off to where like, yeah, and it's like you absolutely cannot hit rush hour and with that bridge thing going on because you'll never get through, you know?
Right.
Yeah. That's why when we used to go to
dude.
Kentucky all the time for flea markets, and my dad would plan it to where we would leave early enough that we would either stop before Cincinnati to eat and basically kill an hour, let rush hour go by, or that we would already be through before rush hour, you know,
Right.
because it was awful. And again, I know it's not as bad as like Atlanta or, you know, because
It's still bad enough.
It's still bad enough. Yeah.
I mean, it was, well, the rain didn't help because you couldn't see shit because it was
Yeah.
coming down hard enough.
Oh, fun.
And then it's getting dark, you know, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, pretty much from Cincinnati to basically almost home. It was like me white knuckling it, gritting my teeth,
Yeah.
trying not to die.
Sure.
Because everyone's driving like idiots.
Yeah.
And, we're in our little car. Go by semi, you can't see because it kicks up so much mist.
You're
It was
right,
just
of course. Ugh.
It was brutal. The drive home was just like, and the whole time I'm thinking, I know it's cheaper to do this,
Yeah.
but is it worth it?
Yeah. See, and that's the other.
I mean, I know if it was just Jeannie and I going to Florida, we would fly because I know we could find tickets that would be cheap enough round trip
Yeah.
that it would be comparable to driving. But
Right.
when it's 4 people,
Yeah, it gets a lot pricier. Yeah.
and I'm going to crunch a number, see how much we spent, like, staying an extra night in one place and eating out and gas,
Right.
just to see what the total was compared to what tickets might have been.
Right.
And because I'm curious.
Right.
But I mean, if it's like within a couple $100, it's worth it not to deal with the stress.
Yeah. I can
And
see that.
and I
yeah.
even told her, like, after we get out of traffic, I'll be like, it's not bad if it's like when I'm working and I'm dealing kind of shit like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me as much as when I've got my whole family in the car.
Well, and it also doesn't help the weekend that you went. If that was just any normal weekend, the traffic wouldn't have been anywhere near as bad.
Yeah,
So,
it was extra thick and stupid.
There is that on top of it, yeah. Because like when we went, it wasn't bad until we hit major cities. Atlanta, would have sucked again, except we were in the carpool lane for most of it. Cincinnati, we deliberately went, we left early enough in the morning that I think we hit Cincy at like 3:00 or something like that. Or not in the morning,
Right.
but the day. So we hit Cincy well before rush hour, so we were well through there. And, and all the middle states really, they're not terrible. They're just a boring drive,
Right.
But there's no major cities you drive through really, the rest of the way. So that wasn't too bad, And like for us, we just stopped whenever it was, we need gas, or that's pretty much when we would stop to eat, or, unless we had to stop to, go to the bathroom or get something to drink or whatever. But, I'm also the type that it's weird. Like I have a limit of how long I can stay in a car. And then it's like, I need to get out for a few minutes, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. Like I just need to get out of the car, see open space, feel open space, because after a while the car starts closing in on me
Right.
basically, but at the same time, bladder wise, I can sit forever,
Right.
Before my anxieties and stuff really kicked up. That was another benefit to like me going with my dad, because my dad was the same way, that we could go for a long time and not have to stop to go to the bathroom, so it was just straight shot basically for a lot of our trips, or almost a straight shot,
Right.
so yeah.
I mean, by the end of the first day down there, like my hip that's been fucked up, my back were like all
Sure.
jacked, and I couldn't get comfortable to sleep. And
Yeah. And that right there is probably a better reason for you, or even more of a reason for you to fly versus drive. Because the
it's
driving's
just-
brutal on having to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
ugh. Like I said, it's, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, if you decide to drive from Michigan to Florida, don't. And we were talking today that we both, as a family, I love going on a road trip,
Yeah.
but I don't like going on a road trip when I'm up against a time clock.
I was just going to say, the real problem is, again, like when we went, we didn't have, like we had like 10 or 11 days to work with. So even if you
Right.
use 2 and 2, that still leaves you with almost a week in Florida,
Yeah.
So you can take your time. Whereas with you guys, you were trying to get down and back in, a lot of time,
in a long weekend, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really tough, gig
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Well, because it's like, like tonight.
Or it wouldn't have even been as bad if, like, if Logan drove too, to where you could rotate
Yeah.
3 drivers or have a 4th, or what, you could, because
He's getting there.
you guys drove to Florida, but when you went on that one cruise with Jen and T, didn't you? Didn't you guys trade off driving for that?
Not as much as we would have liked to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was mostly Jeannie and I drove. Jen drove a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think T drove at all.
Well, put T in a car, he falls asleep. So, I mean, no,
Yeah,
I'm
I know,
kidding.
yeah.
Not behind
But
the
it's-
wheel, I think.
But it's like, you know, I was telling Jeannie on the way back, I'm like, you know, one of the things I like about road trips is you see shit you don't get to see.
Yeah.
While you're driving at night, it's black.
Yeah.
You know, what's the fun of that?
It's true.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Or if I see someone like, oh, hey, there's some sort of dopey museum coming out, we don't have time to stop.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like, you know, when you're up against a schedule like that, it's not as fun to do a road trip.
Right. Like, oh, we're in Georgia. They have, you know, boiled peanuts. We can't even stop and get any. Terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I can't take the time
Yeah, I
to
know.
to
But
leave.
I mean, all in all,
How great were the signs as you first hit Florida, though? All the road signs. Did you
Oh.
take those in?
yeah, I always do.
Man,
yeah,
those
they're
are
the
great.
best.
If you haven't
Yeah,
been to
they're-
Florida, the road signs are, there are so many of them that are pro-Jesus, anti-abortion. There was a couple that were anti-masturbation. God, I can't remember what else. And then obviously there's just tons of tourism ones, you know, like Disney World,
Like
Universal, all this, but
There was one that just had a creepy baby face on it and
Yeah.
just said, Jesus weeps for his 56 million aborted babies.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, what?
yeah. And
Huh.
oh man, they were something. Cause I've never seen those signs like that anywhere else, you know?
Yeah, specifically, just as you're ready to either leave Florida and go into Georgia or
Yeah.
vice versa,
Yeah,
right
they're
in that stretch
right
of road.
there. Yeah,
they're
for the
everywhere.
first half hour somewhere range,
Yeah.
they're really heavily there.
And
then
then,
you start
like-
hitting all tourism ones.
And then it's like every 15 feet, there's like Magnolia Plantation
Yeah,
until you get to it. And then it's the same sign, but it's something else of a different name,
right,
advertising the same shit.
right,
And all it is a gas station that sells like jellies and pecans.
right.
It was insane.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I love seeing the country, and it's weird to think that yesterday, morning I was in Florida,
right.
know.
And you didn't fly back. Like if you had flown, you'd be like, well, yeah, but you flew, but like,
Yeah.
no, I drove like like a full day's worth of driving or half a day's worth of driving,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was a good weekend, and it did make me realize too that snowbirds, have it right,
Mm-hmm.
because this time of year in Florida, it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. And
It's like perfect, no humidity, perfect temperature.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, wow, I see why old people come down here in the wintertime, because it's amazing down here.
Yeah. I totally get it too. It'd be great. I'd love to be able to do something like that. Cause right now it's not horrible up here. I mean, it is today. I mean, it's garbage today, but whatever. I mean, you're going to have rainy days. That's just, not down there as much, but at least when I was there, the place we were at in Florida, it was like the one day they were like, oh, we're going to be getting some rain. And I was like, oh man, it sucks. Come to Florida and, can't experience the, bright, sunny, whatever. And they're like, give it 15 minutes. And sure as shit, it was, it rained it rained pretty decent for like 15 minutes. Then it was gone the rest of the day. There was no more rain. I was like, that feels like if that system had hit Ohio, it would have, or Michigan, like it would have been here for like 3 days,
Yeah, exactly. Just swirled overhead, and made everyone depressed.
Yeah, just smacking us right in the ass,
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I get it.
Well, yeah, I am glad to be home though. I just say that.
Yeah, I imagine. Even
For
though it's
sure.
only been a few days, it's still. Now, here's a question for you: Does it feel at all like you went on a vacation? Aside from eating, probably.
Well, I wouldn't really call it a vacation, really.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the way down there and the way back negates all the relaxation I got.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
But the time that I wasn't feeling like I was in the middle of Death Race 2000,
yeah,
I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's too bad, it's too bad that, you do lose the recharge of, leaving the normal, schedule, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Tony and his death race.
Yeah, dude, it was, especially today. That's when we finally got to the dog border to get Belle.
Yeah.
And I just sat in the car in the parking lot. I'm like, and Jeannie's like, just decompress.
Yeah.
And then she got back with the dog, and I'm like, yeah, seriously, that was one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my life. Just hours of nonstop, just like cortisol levels at max.
Well, like you said, anytime you put yourself up against a time limit, it's going to suck so much more,
And it was between the rain and the traffic and, low visibility. It was just brutal. Like halfway back, I'm like, it hit me. I'm like, someone needs to hand me some gum. Because we bought gum, because of the mountain, so the kids' ears, they can chew and pop their ears. I could just pop them just because I can.
Yeah,
I'm
me
just
too.
used to it.
Yep.
But I'm like, I need gum. And, and Jean's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm over here just gritting my jaw.
Yeah, you're right. And you're better to have gum
I need
instead.
to do something. I need to chew or something and not crush my teeth in the powder.
I'm just picturing, you're like, give me my driving mouthpiece. You got the one with like the fangs on the front, like the NFL players and stuff wear.
I wish. It was brutal. I'm very glad to be home. And I'll be actually really looking forward to sleeping in my own bed too.
Oh yeah. That's what, it was like whenever we travel, it's like, how when you get, like for us, I'm going local here. It's like, when you get home and you see like Bowling Green, and you're about half an hour from home, and then, you're like, oh man. And then you hit the Toledo thing and you're like, yes. And then you realize it's like, dude, from here, I'm still 20 minutes from home, cause downtown Toledo is, or the first entering Toledo is still 20-ish minutes from where we live, or 15 minutes, something like that. And that is like the longest 15 minutes of the car ride.
That's exactly what I was thinking. We got off in Maumee, which isn't our local thing, to get the dog. And I'm like, we're pulling off the highway, which is nice, but I still have 20, 25 minutes till I'm home.
Exactly. Yep. And it's a long, long drive from there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh God.
It's so amazing.
So glad to be home.
So amazing, isn't it? Because to drive to Maumee on any given day or whatever, it's like, whatever. It's, it's close.
Dude, I do it,
Yeah.
I don't even know how many times during the week.
Right.
Work.
But,
it's like, whatever. It doesn't bother me at all. But that was just like.
That drive home from, you're like, oh, I just want to be home. Yeah. That whole time. And then you start hitting red lights or whatever. And it's just like, come on, I remember my dad one time we were coming back from Louisville and it was like that. It just felt like that drive home took forever. And it's not that long of a drive to Louisville from here. I think it was 5 hours or something like that, 6 hours, whatever it was. And, and just that drive home though. And we'd hit, like you said, we'd hit just the outside of Toledo. And, you could just tell from his body language that it was like, good, and then, like I said, we'd be coming back home and you just hit like every red light on the way home. And
the first landmark that always got me as a kid was the mosque in Perrysburg.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because it's huge, and it's a very iconic in our area.
Yeah. And you see it and you're like, oh, almost home.
Oh, thank God we're almost there.
Yeah. But then, like I said, you realize that you're still 20, 25 minutes away from home. It's, brutal.
Or, when we were just outside of Dayton and the signs for 75 North changed to Toledo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, kids, a Toledo sign.
Yeah.
They're all like, yay. Because,
yeah.
They got sick of being in the car.
Oh,
too.
Sure. Yeah. It's boring as hell to be in the car the whole time.
Yeah.
Even with smartphones and all that stuff, it still sucks,
Yeah.
Like with us on the way down, I couldn't use my smartphone because we didn't have a charger in the car that worked. So my phone had Waze on it and Waze was just draining my battery. So once we were on 75 and knew we'd be on 75 for a ways, I just turned my phone off to preserve the battery.
Yeah.
And then when we got near like a big, when we got close to like Atlanta and stuff, I was like, well, I'm going to turn it back on because I don't want to get lost in Atlanta.
Guide me. Please guide me.
So, so I couldn't even really use my phone while we were driving around because, I needed it for the ride. So, yeah. But
yeah, it was, oof. So yeah, that was a recap of my last few days.
Good times. It's weird when you get back and you're welcoming your normal grind to an extent,
Yeah.
like you've got home and you're looking forward to hitting the bed tonight. you're looking forward to, I mean, you're not looking forward to work, but at least the driving for that won't be like the driving you just did, most likely, you know? So
yeah, well, because I'm not in my work van for 12 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. You get out enough. Yeah, exactly.
I get out. I move stuff. Yeah. It's,
it's so weird that it's the reverse of a vacation. You know, you're just
I mean,
I just want to get
that
home.
is part of it. Getting back to normal life is kind of nice sometimes.
Right. Plus, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure with you, you know, like eating like that and stuff probably took its toll on you too. Cause
oh yeah. I mean, I enjoyed every bite that I took.
Sure.
That was not, you know, and I did my best to be good, but
yeah. Real quick.
You
didn't even mention the conch fritters you had.
Oh, well, yeah. I had to make fun of. I always every time I get conch fritters, since I introduced our friend Soundboard T to him, I always have to send him a picture.
Right.
And they were delicious as well.
They looked good. Yeah. That's the best part is like when we went to Florida, I remember like Jen pretty much was like, I'm only eating seafood while we're here because it's all fresh.
It's so fresh.
And she's, you know, cause we live in Michigan. There's seafood up here, but most of it is frozen and shipped in. Or if it's not, you know, it's whatever we get in the area. You know, it's local stuff. It's not, you know, you can't get the same stuff. So I didn't blame her. I'm not much of a fish person, but I totally understood it, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like
I love seafood. I'm the same way.
Like she loves scallops and they had scallops in there and I tried one of her scallops. I'm like, oh my God, these are so much better down here. Cause I'm used to the ones up here are all frozen, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they're terrible cause they're like pasty and you know, they're.
Yeah. No bueno.
No. Yeah. Down there they were fresh and you could taste that they were fresh. You know, it was, they just melted. They were so good.
I mean, with the exception of the breakfast at the hotel and the Vietnamese lunch we did.
Yeah.
Everything else I had was seafood.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Even the bar food I got was seafood because they had like deep fried smelt and it said it was a house favorite. So I'm like, and I don't smell it like little fish.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'll get it. And it was a whole basket of them, and they were knowing Gene didn't like them. I thought they were amazing. I don't think that was all the beers talk.
Like how is it that you like it just knife and fork them, or are they like chicken fingers?
I just picked them up and ate them. Okay. Kind of like chicken fingers.
Like there's no bones? Or they take all the bones? Oh, okay.
I was kind of drunk, but they tasted good.
Meanwhile, Tony just ate like the whole skeleton of the thing. He's like,
I probably did.
Someone's sitting there watching you, their mouths agape, you know, like, what the? And you're just, nah. Like Cookie Monster and a plate of cookies.
Basically. Hammered them.
Yeah. Like, you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm great. Why? Like,
dude, great.
You just ate a lot of bones.
Need another beer, too.
Yeah. All right. Like someone from the restaurant comes over and they're like, where's the bones?
Oh, you know what's another thing I noticed down there, Brian?
Huh.
No one, and I mean no one I saw anywhere, was rocking the Michigan beard.
Really?
I'm like, this must be in our area, or like a mountain thing. 'Cause I saw guys in the mountains of big beards.
Sure, yeah.
But down in Florida, I stuck out like a sore thumb.
No, yeah. I mean, you know,
I had like
maybe
at the restaurant where I had the fish bones. I walked by a guy, and he's like, "Dude, nice beard." Like, all right,
right.
And you know, the super drunk lady that we were with was just like kept touching my beard. It's so soft, which like I'm not going to let a lady touch my beard.
Right, I understand. I've been there. Yeah,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so no one anywhere. It was weird.
Yeah.
I'm used to our area. You see big beards all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah, exactly. It's weirder almost now to not see them on guys, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Yeah.
Step your game up, Florida. What's going on?
I know, right?
Rambo had one. Rambo's in Florida. He had a giant.
Yeah, I'm glad he's representing.
Yeah. I don't know if he still has it, but he did.
I was thinking about that when we were down there. I was like, I kind of wish we had more time to reach out to him, but it wasn't on the schedule. Sure. Sorry, buddy.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I got. I don't really have any stories or anything.
I don't really. Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't really either. I started watching again. I started the series a long time ago, and I totally forgot that I was watching it. I started watching Blunt Talk again. You know what show I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Where it's, for those who don't know, it's Patrick Stewart plays a guy who has like a news show. And basically the first couple episodes are him just basically having a breakdown. And just the way his character approaches things is ridiculous. You know, one of the episodes I watched was, he goes to AA. And while he's, you know, he's supposed to go to AA, but instead he goes to a, Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting, because his therapist told him that he should go try to meet women. So he decides to go there to try to meet women instead of going to his AA meeting. And,
makes sense.
Right. And his manservant is like, well, I'm going to go check out the Gamblers Anonymous meeting. And Patrick Stewart, looks at him and is like, do you need some cash in case, I think it's like everyone loses their willpower and a card game breaks out, you know, and his butler's like, oh, so he gives him like just this big stack of money in case a game breaks out over in the Gamblers Anonymous room.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's a worst case scenario kind of show. Like, just bad stuff keeps happening to him because he's clearly just making terrible choices, you know, and his therapist is, oh God, what's that comedian's name? Is it Richard Lewis?
Oh, the Jewish dude?
Yeah.
For sure.
He plays this therapist, and in the first time he gets with him, he gives him cocaine as part of his treatment, as emergency treatment. And then the second
a little emergency cocaina.
Right. And then during their next session, like, Patrick Stewart's assistant walks in, this woman that works with him, and she leaves, and, you know, Richard Lewis is like, have you had intercourse with her? And he goes, no. He's like, I work with her. And then, Richard Lewis is kind of like, you know, just like clearly a terrible therapist, you know? So it's been pretty interesting, but yeah, it's,
Never seen it, but I really want to, because I've heard it nothing but good things.
Half-hour long episodes too. So, and it's through, I think 2 seasons are completely done now. And there's, I think 10 and 8 episodes, or 10 and 10. I don't remember. So it's, you know, not a lot to watch, but it's, you know, I really enjoy it. Patrick Stewart's fantastic in it because it's him not playing a
typical role, right?
Yeah. And his manservant is fantastic too. And their interactions together are really good. So like he tells his guy to get a car for him, because he's been driving like an older Jaguar, I believe it is. And,
Jaguar.
He wants to get something like a Prius, or I think he tells him to get like a Prius or a Bolt or Volt or whatever the hell it's called. And the dude shows up with like a Dodge Challenger. And he's like, you know, what the hell is this? And he's like, you told me to follow my heart, you know? And he's like, no, I told you to get, you know, this or this, and you just chose to ignore me. So he goes to get into the car, and Patrick Stewart gets into the back seat, and it's, you know, this is a 2-door car, you know? So he sits in the back, and he's like, this back seat's fucking awful. And the guy's like, you know, you could ride up here. And he's like, you know, he's like, no, he's like, I think we have to keep the lines of our relationship clearly defined or something like that. You know, it's just little shit like that just makes me laugh because it's ridiculous. You know, he's sitting in the backseat horribly uncomfortable when you could just get in the front.
Yeah. In the nice bucket seat up there.
Right. But he refuses to because, you know, and he just keeps griping about the car to the guy, which is, you know, pretty fun. But, yeah, I may not be selling it real well, but it was really funny.
You feel like Patrick Stewart when you like odd situations, right?
Yeah. And like I said, It's not like Patrick Stewart. It's more Patrick Stewart from, if you're a fan of American Dad, his character on there, how he's just weird and stuff like that. It's more that Patrick Stewart. It's not like Captain Picard or Professor X. You know?
Right.
It's not Patrick Stewart taking himself very seriously. He's quite ridiculous, you know? Like, he's in his office and there's something that happens in one of the episodes and they're like, well, you have to go to AA. And he just goes, I have to go to AA. And he's got this glass of like bourbon or something like that. And he just shotguns the glass first, you know?
That's pretty great.
Yeah. So Yeah, and like when he's picking out his outfit to go to AA, and the guy was like, "Do you want to go with the Bono look, which is like black jeans and a leather coat, or do you want to go with this other, which is like a button down and nice pants?" And he goes for AA, definitely the Bono look. It's like, because he's going to look to pick up women.
Well, of course.
Court ordered he has to go to AA, but while he's there, he's going to try to pick up women also.
Get some sweet, sweet drunken ladies.
Sure,
why not? My God, my cat out here. I need to go kick in the face again, I think, or something.
That'll happen.
I guess you missed us. We did send Soundboard T over here to take care of the cat. But
yeah. He probably just pretended to come over. No.
Maybe.
He's like, it's fine. So yeah, I don't know. That's about all I got otherwise. So.
Well, I'm a ball dropper, and I don't think I ever posted a Q to W last week.
Whoops a doozies.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to do Dude Mountain real quick here, and we'll get into the Q of the W, or do you want to do it the other?
We can do. Where is it? There it is.
Dude Mountain.
Might as well do Dude Mountain.
I appreciate that there's a cat on Dude Mountain, apparently.
It's Battle Cat.
Yeah. Ferocious.
All right. Well, we'll do what we typically do. Start off the bottom three.
Yep.
Which, Clint, how many times have we told him in the kick group, make your pick, son?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He loves wallowing in the valleys of Dude Mountain, I think.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah. So we got Clint down at the bottom. Got Neil one step above him. Actually, many steps, looking at the points.
Yeah. I think Neil's doubled him up, if I'm not mistaken, or close.
More than doubled him up now.
Yeah.
And then you got Hobie in the 11th spot up there.
What?
Although I got to say, special shout out to number 10th spot, the Roman Pod and Cast, because they did send us a nice Christmas card.
Yeah.
Thanks, gents.
Quite nice.
Put a picture of it up online.
Right.
But let's shuffle to the top. Where there's been a change of the guard, Brian.
Yeah.
No longer is my wife up there conquering and throwing around battle axes and shit.
True.
It's now our pal Gallert. I can't even talk.
Gallet.
Our pal Garrett.
Our pal Gallet. Yeah.
Yeah, Gallet.
Gallet.
But then there's a whole mess of y'all tied for number 2. You got Big Dev from so many podcasts I can't even bring him up.
Right.
You got Fuzzy and Fatty and those dogs
right.
dominating Dude Mountain. You got yourself, the Salty King, up there. And you got Genie. Everybody's tied for second right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, it's a mad scrum for second at the moment.
It is a mad scrum. I'm still in the middle, just like trying not to, go visit Clint down there at the bottom.
Right.
But damn, guys, this has been a interesting year at Dude Mountain.
It has.
Yeah.
A couple of Space Pope had a really strong week this week. Couple people, I think there were like 3 10s or better this week. That's before tonight's game. I haven't looked. Obviously tonight's game's still going on. So.
Yeah. Let's see here. So Space Pope got 11, Dev got 10, and Beegs got 10.
Yeah.
Beegs trying to steam up the mountain there a little bit.
Right.
The little Beegs that could.
Yeah. So good on them. Those are solid weeks. So,
indeed.
Because it looks like at best I'll have a fairly average week, but it sucks when even if you have an average week, if somebody else is having a really good week, then
Exactly. You're still taking it to the teeth.
True enough. So,
yep.
All right. Well, that's our fanciful
Dude Mountain update.
Yeah. All right. So, cue the W time.
Last week's was not posted, so unless you got an email, Brian, y'all can go fuck yourself.
I just feel like we should always previously on Cue the W.
That's a hilarious idea.
Yeah. I actually have 3 emails. None sent through Twitter because I didn't post it either. Because we dropped the ball, kicked it into the street, watched it get ran over.
Pretty typical.
And then just went, and moved on. Matthew McDonough from the Passersby podcast, and previously from the Wings Challenge you were part of, said,
"Oh goddamn, I need to put that up on our thingy."
Oh,
sorry.
So the question was, what movie without a sequel would you make a sequel to, or some wording like that.
Yeah, like what movie needs a sequel?
Yeah. And
or deserves or whatever. I don't know.
He said that he would make a sequel to They Live. The incident at the TV station allowed us to see who they were. With our eyes open, we quickly rose up and destroyed all of them, or so we thought. A small faction of them were able to escape and return to where they had come from. Roddy Piper loses his life in some sort of heroic garbage event laid out in the opening montage and exposition. Obviously, because Roddy Piper's all the dead. So, unbeknownst to him, he had fathered a son, John Cena, and the New Earth Collective is hot on his trail. A prize fighter and a charismatic persona, he is the physical and uniting force to help build against the incoming threat detected by the orbital probes near Mars. The twist comes when we figure out, though, the reverse engineering of the glasses that Cena's mother may or may not have been all that she seems. An internal and external battle ensues as Cena fights for his and the world's humanity. The title? They Die.
They Die.
Yeah.
Because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
I like the title, They Die.
Yeah, I do too. I like that he set the whole scene for us too, you know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, damn. You probably sent that to us and like Universal Studios.
Yeah. Damn it, John Cena. Fluffy Bunny Ash sent in, and she said that hers would be John Carter and The Golden Compass, like two separate movies, not like one mash of the two. And she said she feels there were two underrated movies that both should have had sequels to finish the storylines, but didn't do well at the box office. And I can see that. There's a lot of movies out there without finishes to the storyline that's frustrating for people, I'm sure. So
definitely.
And then making his triumphant return to our emails, Cheeto Bandito emailed us.
What? The Cheeto's back.
Yep.
Guess who's back? Back again.
His answer, Hudson Hawk. And he says, not sorry, I fucking love that movie. And so do I, Mr. Bandito. So do I.
Well, there you go.
I don't know what the storyline would be, but, you know, whatever. Bruce Willis, you know, is probably in, so.
Can only assume it's Hudson Hawk 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, I was going to say Hudson Hawker.
Even hockeyiest.
They just start using the Die Hard naming, you know.
Nice.
Yeah. Hudson Hawker.
Hudson Hawk with a vengeance.
Yeah. God. A good day to Hudson Hawk. It's just terrible.
I love it.
Just picture that meeting. You know, someone's like, here it is. Ugh. They just lay out the title. And the rest of the room just looks at him and just someone gets up, walks over to him, just slaps him.
Tosses him out the window.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Like he thinks they're all lifting him up on his shoulders, like in congratulations. They just shuffle him to the window.
Yeah. Electric chair drop him right out the window. Perfect.
Yep.
That's good times right there.
It is good times.
Like, yeah, I knew I made it. Finally. Wait.
Well, I guess that's it for emails, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. For this week's QW, Brian, totally inspired by the Sporkful podcast.
Yeah.
And because we just passed Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Just want to know what everybody's best Thanksgiving bite was.
Oh, right.
You know?
Interesting. You know, for me, it's usually, I have this thing where, like, when I make sweet potatoes, I never make them like people do at Thanksgiving where they've got all the stuff on them to just make
sugar bombs all over them.
Yeah. So, but I do like them that way once in a while, you know?
Right.
And what I do a lot of times is, like, with dinner, I wait until, like, I eat all the rest of my food and I leave the sweet potatoes and, like, rolls or biscuits, whatever we have, and I make sandwiches. Basically, like, I put the sweet potatoes on a biscuit and just eat that. And that typically is kind of my dessert because it's so sweet, you know, and at the end of the meal, it's pretty much, you know, the finisher for me. But this year, so normally it would have been that, but this year somebody made cheesy potatoes and I don't know why, but they just tasted so damn good to me.
was all about the cheesy potato.
Right, but normally it would have been the, you know, my sweet potato sandwich. Sometimes I'll throw a little piece of ham under there too, you know, and it's
nothing wrong with a little salty ham in there.
right.
Pig makes everything better.
Right,
Let's
little
be honest.
ham, little sweet potatoes, a biscuit or a roll, whatever, and just, you know, like this year we had Hawaiian rolls, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny because I have the same I have the same structure because I have a normally and a this year structure to mine as well.
Okay.
Which is funny you did that. Because normally for me, I love turkey.
Right.
Like turkey's my jam. I will kick a turkey in the face to eat it later because it's delicious.
Right.
And normally it's not the Jello jiggler cranberry. Right? But like cranberry relish that usually ends up in my family's thing.
Okay.
And normally it's the cranberry relish with the turkey. It's a fine combo. I enjoy the shit out of it.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. But this year at the, you know, oddball Thanksgiving we went to, someone made a pumpkin pie, which pumpkin pie is normally run, you know, everyone has pumpkin pie.
Right.
But this pumpkin pie, the crust was almost made out of like trail mix.
Really?
It was like nuts and granola and there was like craisins in there. It was weird.
Huh.
And then they had the pumpkin filling and then they had made homemade vanilla bean ice cream on top.
Huh.
And it was fucking delicious.
That sounds like something I would like to eat until I throw it up.
Yeah, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, and I mean, and there was cranberry relish that had like nuts and apples and stuff in it that I've never had, and that was good too. But the pie was like, I had to do a double take because I heard about the crust. I'm like, I need to try this.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it was amazing.
That's very interesting.
It was amazing to the point that Jean and I looked at each other, and she's like, I need to figure out a crust like this for cheesecake.
That was exactly as soon as you said that. That was the first thing that was going to be my question was. So is Jeannie working up a cheesecake with that crust?
Yeah, well, there's actually in the High Family Cheesecake Labs, there's a couple secret cheesecakes going on right now that I'll fill you in after recording.
For sure. Yeah, you can't lay that stuff out there for like the savages listening. Come on.
A couple ideas I threw out that I think we're going to try to green light.
Nice. Okay, so now I have to ask you a question from Fluffy Bunny Ash because she asked me was how much ostrich did you eat?
Ostrich?
Yeah. You know, because she's all about barbecue and ostrich for everything.
Oh yeah, I would if ostrich was offered, I would for sure eat it.
Yeah, no ostrich for you though either, huh?
No ostrich for me.
Yeah, no. I told her I was like, I guess I'm just gonna have to move up with her to partake in so we can get this ostrich thing going because I don't know. There's just too many of them running loose.
I mean, I do believe, if I remember right, unless it's just something that came up in our conversation before, didn't we come up with ostraducking?
Oh, we certainly did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all I want to still do.
Yeah. That reminds me of, there was a Squidbillies Thanksgiving special that I didn't get to see, but in the commercials for it, Early starts talking about like how they're going to have Turdogget, and they're like, that's a turkey inside a dog inside a bucket.
Yes, please.
Because his kid Rusty gets a dog, and they're like fattening the dog up or something like that, and or giving the dog the turkey. I forgot what it is, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, we're fattening that dog up." He's like, "You're not going to eat my dog," It's like, "Oh, we're going to have a Turdogget."
Turdogget. That's awesome.
Love it. Oh, that show cracks me up.
It isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
It is an interesting show.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah. All right.
So there you go. Yeah, Thanksgiving, your best Thanksgiving bite.
Yeah.
Show me what you got.
Nice.
Boom.
Oh man, I was watching Rick and Morty last night, and the Mr. Meeseeks episode was on.
That is a classic.
It cracks me up. Damn, Mr. Meeseeks. If you haven't gotten on board with Rick and Morty yet, I did read something the other day that looks like season 3 might have gotten delayed into next year, though.
Oh, boo.
It was supposed to be out, like in December, I think was what they were kind of telling. There was never an official date. And, but I guess Dan Harmon has posted a couple times on Twitter, like, we're real close or something like that, but.
Hashtag free Rick. Never forget.
I know. It's just not close enough. Like, it's not close enough until I'm actually sitting there watching it.
Exactly. Bastards.
I love that show so much. So yeah, all right. Well, I guess we got end of show business here.
End of show business.
Yeah. I guess the first thing is the shirts, because we have...
Oh yeah, there's actually 2 shirts available now, Brian.
Yeah.
I need to put it there. There's now on our website. There's a merch tab, which I only have 1 shirt on there right now because I haven't updated the website yet.
Okay.
But there's the standard loose-fitting Salty Language shirt, and now there's the American Apparel Slim Fit T-shirt. If you're into that,
nice.
It's a little more because it's American Apparel, but
I will say this:
whatever.
The Obscure Gentleman shirt that I have, that's an American Apparel shirt, is a really comfortable shirt. It's
there you go.
Super comfortable. So
I'm not 100% sure why the only American Apparel is slim fit, but
that's disappointing because, like, for me,
it's Amazon.
I'd have to go at least 1 size bigger to get a slim fit shirt, and usually the way they're cut, it doesn't work for guys like me. So if you're an ample gentleman, you're probably better off with the other shirt. So
check out saltylanguage.com. Check out the merch tab.
Nice.
Buy yourself a shirt, son. It's Christmas after all. Stocking stuffers.
Right. Buy one for everyone.
For everyone.
Everyone. Because who, make their torsos look sexier and such.
Goddamn right.
Or whatever it is we said before. I don't remember. That might be somebody else's. I hope that's not someone else's deal. If so, sorry.
Well, suck it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Any other business?
Free podcast garbage at Gmail. Email me some stuff if you want some fucking garbage.
Nice.
And I did get a request. I saw Jared put on Facebook that he's emailing free podcast garbage to get a hand turkey for Thanksgiving. I don't know if I ever saw the email come through though.
Oh, all right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot. We should get that done where we both have a hand turkey, like on one.
That'd be funny.
Deal. I mean, I guess we wouldn't have to. We, I could scan one, but
yeah, nothing.
All right, fair enough.
Come on, Jared.
Yeah.
I know you sent me your address months ago, but it's been lost to the ether, my friend.
That'll happen. Yeah. All right. So I guess, like Tony said, email in for some random free stuff that, I actually was thinking of, I'm going to be going through like my desk and stuff here. So I may have random shit that I'm willing to toss in or something too. So
I'll throw it in a hefty bag and I'll come clear, get it away from you.
I like it. So if anyone wants a CRT TV, no. Yeah. So, definitely do that. Also, if you haven't checked out, the other podcast I'm on, The Crazy Life, maybe give that a go listen. So,
Indeed.
Or don't. Be an asshole. It's fine.
We do have a bunch of jerks in our lives.
That's true. It's true. A couple weeks ago we had Neil from Death Pod on. So, if you like Neil for some reason, you could go listen to that episode and, it was a good talk. I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember it. So whatever. So yeah, like Tony said, go check out the website, for all the links and pictures and the merch tab especially. I mean, just go bonkers on that. Just open your wallet, go, wow, I have this much money. Just do that, buy that. Just use your debit card, go, wow, I have enough to order this many shirts. Do that.
Exactly.
It's what Santa would want. It's how you get on Santa's good list.
I've seen his list.
Yeah.
Every good kid on the list is getting a Salty Language shirt.
Which means if you don't get one, you're not on the good list.
No. Exactly. If you don't get a shirt, you're definitely on the bad list.
It makes sense to me. And again,
sounds like
like we've said before,
like a future Instagram post.
Listen, going back to an old gimmick, man, I'll tell you this. Dinosaurs didn't have Salty Language shirts. Look what happened. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Didn't turn out well for them.
See what happens? You want your kids to be extinct?
Good shit.
Because we sell them at kid sizes.
Yes. Love it. So check out the website, check out, Tangent Bound Network at tangentboundnetwork.com because we're part of that, and maybe check out, Geek Life Radio because they've, got us on a list of other podcasts over there, and, I can't remember. There's something else to check out.
Oh, for sure.
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
Entertainment, for sure check them out, because, you know,
For sure.
there's a reason we have the mystical drop in there
Damn straight.
to entertain us. That's all. That's the only
That
reason it's there.
really is
It's
the
really
only
the
reason.
only reason it's there. Yeah.
But I think it's become a thing that people enjoy.
Sure. And if not, well, you and I do, so that's really all that matters.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you don't like it, suck it.
No, if you don't like it, go to saltylanguage.com, click on the merch tab, buy a shirt, and then in the comments, tell us to suck it.
Yes, that too.
Speaking of leaving us comments, if you're on iTunes, please leave us a review. You know, the old 5-star ball wash. You know, and, you know, if you write something in the review that cracks us up, maybe we'll read it on the show. I don't know. We'll see. And,
I like it.
yeah, so if you want to contact us, as Tony, you know, already gave you the email address for the free garbage, you can also, if you want to email the show, you can at saltylanguage@gmail.com. Usually the best way to hit us up is on Twitter at, salty_language. I totally blanked for a minute there. Oof. I'm at Stunami.
I'm at Monotony, or you can do the old salty_language on Snapchat, Salty Language Pod on Instagram.
Right. I'm on Snapchat at Ninjitsu if you'd like to follow me for whatever reason. Because you're a creep.
Creepazoid.
Man, I haven't watched that in a long time. Freakazoid,
right?
Creepazoid.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
Anyway. Is there anything else? Any other ways that we should tell them to stalk us? I can't think of it.
I think that's about it.
All the links are on the website. So if you want any ways, you know, find ways to interact with us, that's the way to do it. If you answer the Q of the W on Twitter, please use the hashtag Q of the W. That way it's easier for me to find when we go to do the show. Otherwise it may get lost in whatever. So, yeah.
Right.
All right. And on that, I guess have beer, you'll be fine.
Stay salty.
And here's my piss. Peace out.